people behave in the church, how organizations behave, the greed, everything becomes about money. I get it. But I'm asking you, what did Christ ever do to you? We're talking about religion and organization. You're pissed off and you're using that as an excuse. I'm talking about Christ and Christ alone. Forget about religion. Forget about the church. Just had a pastor friend of mine we've been involved in ministry for over 20 years. The denomination decided they were going to remove him as pastor for no reason other than politics. So he starts up his own church with no denomination. I talked to him because he's actually, they started a food ministry where they used to have warehouses where they used to donate food to thousands of people a week. Then they started a drug rehab center for free, and they started that. And the denomination decides they're going to play politics. It's amazing. The church I was at that I left 18 years ago just finished closing down because the pastor decided he was going to be, but I saw it. Pride comes before the fall. It took 18 years. It took 14 years for it to fall, and it finally did. I've lived all that. I've seen all that BS. I'm talking to you about Christ, about what Christ has done in my life, what testimony. See, you can't argue with my experience with God. You can tell me how you don't believe, how it ain't real, and I can tell you how I know it's real, because it's real to me in my life and what I've experienced. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise. So, that's what's the workout, man. We're working out these issues in our lives, working out the problems, working out what's going to happen. I'm talking to a lot of people, man. Wives are sick. They're having to take care, and they're having to go work and leave their wives. And it's just heartbreaking. There's a lot of pain in people's lives. People are dealing with some real stuff. And I just want to bring hope to some people. There is hope. There's hope for you. There's hope for your family. There is hope in Christ. It isn't about religion. It isn't about me. Send me your money because I won't be able to do. I've been doing ministry for, 25 years now. And I've never asked for a penny. I refuse to. I believe God gives me the power to get wealth, to establish His covenant, so I can do what I have to do for Him, that I don't have to worry. So we're going to give away $100,000 worth of pest control. How are we going to do that? Very simply. We give it away. I want to talk to you about something that I brought up and in training and in pest control training. When you're training your people to sell, what a lot of guys do, a lot of owners, watch me do this. Watch me do this. And they love people shadowing them. But they don't coach and they don't train. Basically, they tell you what to tell people, but role playing, like if you were in a script, having it written down what you're going to say to people, how to upsell, but role playing is vitally important, where you take the person and you actually have to make them do it. And a lot of technicians don't like to upsell. They're allergic to it. They see it as sleazy. The owner is trying to make more money off of them. Well, the reality is that if the customer has a legitimate issue, you owe it to your customer to sell them the best service. You owe it to them. So, role play with your people. Invest an hour or two a week in role playing, in going through scenarios, in customer service, going through scenarios. This situation happened. In the future, you do it like this. Let's role play it. I'm the customer. I'm on the phone. Ring, ring, ring. And you role play it. How it's supposed to go down. They need to do it. They need to do it in practice so that when they do it in real life, they don't have a big chance of messing it up. Role playing increases their self-confidence in their ability to be able to do something because now they've been trained. Training isn't lecturing. Training isn't, well, we told them, well, we brought in somebody to teach them this. No, it requires practice. Remember that you learn everything through repetition. Repetition. You repeat the same thing over and over and over and over. You know, how does an actor earn $14 million for reading a script and making you cry? You know, people have an issue with selling, and you know, it's very easy. If the customer has a legitimate problem, you should be able to sell them and upsell that service while you're there. Not say, well, you need to call the office and get a price. You need to talk to the owner. You need to talk to the manager. You should be equipped for every good work. So you should be able to say, yes, this is what you need. This is how much it's going to be. Would you like me to add it on? It's that simple. That's how you do a sale. And it's either a yes or no. I got to think about it. I got to talk to my husband. I got to talk to my wife. That is fine. Meanwhile, those fungus gnats, they're still in the shower drain. And you got to deal with them. And it's not covered in your service. And, you know, I wouldn't wait more than a week to solve this problem. And you talk to them about the biology. The best way to sell is to sell them on the information that is factual. Hey, you know, this is going to reproduce so many eggs in so many days. And you're going to have so many more flies in so many days. I'm here now. Why don't we solve this problem? Can you call your husband and see if it's okay to solve it now? Why wait? You're going to have to do it anyway. It's not going to go away by itself. The mosquitoes aren't going to go away by themselves. You know, the flea problem isn't going to go away by itself. You know, so you might as well be the one that sells it to them. I mean, do you believe you are the best technician with the best knowledge to provide the best service? If you are, then why are you afraid of asking the customer to buy it if they absolutely truly need it? And that's something that I want you to put under your belt. That selling is offering the customer a solution to something they either need or want. Because if you don't, somebody else is going to come in and sell it to them. And then now, if they call another company because you didn't offer it, they didn't think you offered it, you saw it, you didn't do anything about it, and then somebody else comes in and takes your account, then you're going to cry about it and say, well, this company came door knocking and sold the customer on this. Well, they did a better job than you. Because you were there. This is your customer. You're supposed to be looking after them and what's best for them. And if a drain treatment is best for them, if a mosquito service is best for them, if a flea service is best for them, then sell it. The other thing is that people aren't selling is because they don't believe the company they work for. They don't believe in the company they work for. If your people aren't selling services to clients, is because they don't believe in the company. They don't, but like, how do you live in a $1 million house and you're afraid to quote a $2,000 termite service or $3,000 termite service? You got to help your technicians understand the cost of doing business. That it just isn't their salary. That it's your salary. That it's the secretary's salary. That it's the accountant's salary. That it's the truck, the fuel, the insurance, the marketing, the advertising, the accounting, and all of the costs associated that have to be paid. That a route needs to produce a 50% profit margin to provide enough revenue to the company to cover all that overhead, to cover the office, the building, whatever it is, and that it costs what it costs because it's priced for profit. When we talk about that the owner takes 15 to 20% profit, at the end of the year, and you're like, you're not going to sell it for $2,000 because he's getting rich off of you. He's getting rich in spite of you because he'll get rid of you, get somebody else to do that job if you can't do it. And he has a right to get rich. He has a right. An owner has a right to have 10, 15, 20 routes. What he doesn't have the right to do is to run you racket for 12 hours a day for peanuts. If he does, you're in a free country. Guess what? You're not in a communist country. You can quit. And you can go do something else with your life. Nobody owns you. So this whole idea and this mentality that owners are getting rich off of people is not true. If an owner makes $100,000 a year with 5, 6 routes, it's unbelievable if he does that. If he can take a 20% salary off of 100,000, off of $1 million. And if he does get rich, and if he's got 10 routes, and if he's got 15 routes, and he has the $1 million house, well, he earned it because he built a company. And you're not willing to do that. You want to be a solo operator just so you can make 75 to 80,000 a year, and then you're happy. Doesn't add up. To have that, now if you're getting paid 25,000 a year or 35,000 a year, and you're producing 300,000, I'd say there's a problem. But that's a lot of what happens in this industry. That's what mostly people, I'm trying to figure out, we're trying to raise our prices. I just finished raising my prices again so that I can afford to pay my people a higher wage, but the numbers have just been stagnant for the last year. Where we were supposed to be growing, we stagnated, and we went backwards for a while. We lost major accounts, government accounts that just hit us hard. So when those things happen, man, nobody's, the owner takes a huge hit. I had to take a huge hit financially. So understand that if you understand the business, if owners, you owe it to your people to explain the business to them. You owe it to your people to show them, look, here's the books. Here's what you're making. Now, if you are, running them racket, you're paying them 12% production, and so that you can, make 100,000 off of 3 people, and you're exploiting your people, that's on you, bro. But if you run a good, solid company, if you're paying, I'm willing to take 45% profit because I'm lean. I know how to run a lean company. I don't have to have 5 layers of management. You got to have 1 service manager for every 5 people and 1 admin for every 5 people. Why? Because you hired the lowest skilled person that has to be micromanaged to death. You didn't hire quality people. And if you would be paying for quality people and hiring people who are managers, who could manage the routes, you wouldn't need all those levels of management. Trust me, I know. I've been in management a long time. So guys, I just want to thank you all for the prayers. Thank you all for the response. Thank you all for the support during this time. But most of your prayers, I really need your prayers more than anything in the world at this moment. I need to stay strong. I need to stay clear-headed. I need to rest. So I gave up drinking coffee all day. I only drink coffee in the morning now, and that's it. I don't have any coffee past noon. Try not to have any cigars at night because they do wire me up a bit. And so I'm giving up some cigars for a while. I had to order some. My humidor is completely dry, guys. So yeah, man, just, dealing with issues. Dealing with real heavy-duty stuff that we need to deal with. But be of good cheer, man. Jesus says, be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek wishing you a pestacular evening.